Hi everyone. Hi BC. How are you? Good evening. Good evening. Good to see you guys. So we are going to redo this whole live because unfortunately this morning everything was a little bit hectic and everybody in the world was live this morning. So we're going to redo this. I know that there is a lot of people who missed everything that I went over this morning. So we're going to start at the beginning talking about Ryan Davis. I'm going to give everybody a chance to come in. It's good to see everybody who is able to make it out, though. Make sure while you are in here that you subscribe, that you hit the like button, and you share the videos. And not only does it help get Ryan Davis's story out there and help get more eyes on his case, but it does help grow the channel and help us to have other cases be seen too. So it's good to see you guys. Hi, Shadow. How are you? Hello, hello. So I am going to move this right here so that I can read the comments better. So hit the like button, but also put a one in the chat if you guys even know who Ryan Davis is so far, because I know that this is a newer case to a lot of you. But place a one in the chat if you know who Ryan Davis is, and put a two in the chat if you have not heard this story yet. And while you guys are doing that, let me go ahead and pull his picture up. Okay. So this is 12-year-old, almost 13-year-old. Hi, Roberta. How are you? Almost 13-year-old, I hear, Ryan Davis, or RJ. He does go by RJ as well. He is 4 foot 11 inches. He weighs approximately 85 pounds. He has brown hair and brown eyes. He is considered an at-risk, missing, endangered juvenile, and he is missing in the, I'm going to say it wrong again, I don't know why, Chickasha, the Chickasha area of Oklahoma. So it is last seen, or he allegedly was last seen on the night of January the 2nd. In the early morning hours of January 3rd is when they are saying he has gone missing. Now, it is important to note with Ryan's case that this will be the fourth time that he has disappeared. He has ran away in October, November, December, and now in January. So that leads you to question what is going on in a 12-year-old's life that would lead to him running away multiple times over the past couple of months. Unfortunately, what we're running into is even though he has run away each time he has been found, each time he has returned home and been put back with his parents, even at the detriment of people who were trying to help him get away from his family, actually did get in trouble for that during the last time that he had ran away. And so if he is out there somewhere and running away from his family, you question why. What is going on? And if he's not out there running away, what is going on in this case? As you see in the title, his parents have been arrested at this point, but not in relation to his disappearance per se. They've been arrested for child abuse and for crimes against humanity. They have been crimes against nature, sorry, or basically a crime against humanity, but they have been arrested for crimes against nature, and that includes some pretty horrific things. They've also been arrested for conspiracy, which does mean it's because they were together. They were conspiring with each other on these crimes. So this is his parents, well, his mom and his stepdad. This is not his real dad. This is his stepdad. One of the things they have said during this case is that he also goes by Riker Cole. I want to know who calls him Riker. I have a lot of suspicions around the name change and things of that nature. Some weird stuff really going on in this case throughout. So lots of speculation, lots of my opinions going to be coming out during this live stream, but that's really what I have to run with right now. There is a lot of information in the Facebook group that is for this area, but not all of it is verified or verifiable. Now, the police have done a press conference. We will take a look at that press conference during this stream, but a lot of the information is just, it's troubling. The police were actually at the family's home again this afternoon. They were there for a long period of time this evening. I should say, not this afternoon. And so it really makes you question, what are they looking for? If they don't think that he is on the property anymore, what are they gathering? What evidence are they gathering in this case? And I really think that it's going to have to do with the other charges that they are facing with with this uh, with this child. So it says special request alert: missing Oklahoma, Ryan R.J. Davis, 12 years old. Ryan went missing January 3rd from Oklahoma around 1 a.m., last seen on South 4th Street and Grand near Quality Inn. He stands at 4 foot 11, weighing, this says 100 pounds. The other flyer says 85 pounds. I'm not sure which is accurate. I will say that 85 pounds for a 12-year-old is on the lighter side. Okay, and so then it says update as of today. The authorities say that this is a developing situation. For now, questions and far outnumber answers. On the evening of Wednesday, January 7th, in Caddo County, Kimberly Cole and George Franklin Cole Jr. were arrested and booked into the Caddo County Jail. The arrest comes just days after her 12-year-old son was reported missing. He was last seen Friday, January 2nd, 2026, and according to jail records, she is being charged with crimes against nature while he is being charged and facing charges of conspiracy. Both were initially arrested and booked on charges of child abuse by injury before those charges were updated. You were extremely hopeful. Yeah, he would hear they were arrested and come forward. I was hoping that too, but I think he's honestly scared. He has gone out of that home and been sent back so many times. He's terrified. If he's out there, he is terrified. And I'm sure that the people he is surrounded with are equally scared. And there's actually been individuals who have filed a restraining order against his parents at this point, his mom and his stepdad. And it makes you question why. What was going on that led to them doing that? But again, we're taking this case from beginning to end because I don't want to miss anything for those of you guys who are new watching this. So let me get 1 second here. So it does say that investigators have not released details about what led to the arrest, nor have they said RJ's disappearance is being treated as an criminal investigation or a missing person case alone. What is clear is that he is still missing. Time matters. Cases like this remind us how quickly a child can fall through the cracks and how often early warning signals are not recognized hindsight. So this is some pictures of him. Now, one thing that people have pointed out in one of these photos, people are seeing bruises. And it's said that oftentimes people would see bruises. He was unfortunately considered to be homeschooled, and so there was no oversight for him to make sure that he was being taken care of. So let me pull up this. So one thing is that if you know where Ryan is, or if Ryan, if you happen to see these, I don't think you have access to social media. I don't think that you're able to see this stuff. But if whoever you are with has the ability to see these videos and to see the information going out, the police did say during the press conference today that he will not be returning to his parents' custody. So that is not something that he has to worry about. This police chief said that he will see to it on his own that he never has to go back into that home. And as we talk about this case, you'll hear more details about why. So another question is, hi Lise, how are you? Hi Bushes, welcome, welcome. So another question is, why was he at the motel? So he actually lives in an area in a camper on their property. Sorry, let me get this. I gotta find it. I had it all pulled up and I think I closed the tab again because that's what I do. Mhm. The area that they live, though, they have no running water. And so it's said that this family once a week will go and they will get a hotel room so that they can take showers and things like that. So when he went missing, he allegedly was in this hotel room with his mom and his stepdad. They were sharing a room. So figure one bed for mom and stepdad, one bed for him. And the parents are saying that they went to bed sometime around 10:30 that night, and that George woke up to go to the restroom at 1:30 in the morning, and he wasn't there. He was just disappeared. He vanished. He left in the middle of the night while they were asleep, allegedly. I find that hard to believe. Now, the other thing that's troubling is allegedly the cameras that are at this motel are not in operation. And so the cameras can't see him walking out of this place allegedly. But that is when he is last said to be seen. So they are being charged with child abuse and child sexual abuse at this point. One of the questions I have is if they could have been trafficking him, if they could have been just themselves physically harming him. I'm not sure. And I really don't want to necessarily put that on him without any direct knowledge, but they are being charged with some type of child sexual abuse at this point. So it says, despite the arrest, the goal remains unchanged to find Davis and find him quickly. All we want to do is lay eyes on this child and get him the medical care that he needs and assure him that physically, emotionally, that he will not be returning back to that environment. Officials are concentrating their efforts on the Caddo and Grady counties. Everything that we have been able to see so far, we do believe that he is somewhere in one of these two counties. I just hope that he's somewhere alive in these two counties. So whenever he first went missing, his mom was posting on Facebook and she was pleading for him to be returned, or for him to come home. And at first, from the outside looking in, she looks like a concerned mom until you realize that one of the posts that she shares about him missing is actually a repost because he had gone missing prior to that. And so instead of making a new post about him being missing again, she literally just hit share on her own post and reposted the same post from December. So to me, that's like huge red flags. Why is your kid going missing so much? Why does he keep running from home? This isn't somebody who's like getting lured on social media or things like that. Something terribly wrong is going on in this inside of this house.
FBI officially joining the search for Ryan Davis Jr. and they tell us today this disappearance is now suspicious.
When it gets to a point where it's multiple days and we're still not sure where this boy had gone, it's suspicious.
Ryan Davis Jr. was last seen near 4th Street and Grand Avenue in Chickasha last Friday. The longer he's gone, the more law enforcement are stepping up their search for answers.
There's a lot of unsolved questions about, where he exactly, not only where he is, but why he is missing at this time.
The OSBI stepping in on Wednesday to help Chickasha Police Department investigate the suspicious disappearance.
When we're talking about a young boy who is missing and has been missing for multiple days, there's not too many resources that you can use.
The missing child's mother thankful for the community's support and pleading to see her son.
I want to thank everybody that has helped, and anybody that wants to continue to help is needed and wanted. And we just want our son back home. We want him back.
Law enforcement officials asking for the community's assistance in finding this boy.
We are still taking tips. We're taking calls. We're doing everything we can to advise the people here in town and on the outskirts that if you see this boy, know of where he might have been, to please contact us.
The OSBI did tell us today that they do believe that Ryan is still alive and they are still continuing their search for him. Live in Chickasha, Patrick Talbot, KOCO 5 News.
Okay. So this is the motel where he was last seen. This is the area. It's pretty rural area. It's a smaller town. And there's not much around here for him to, get lost in woods or anything like that. Allegedly, the parents would come every Friday. They would take out the same room at the motel every single week, because they did not have running water at their trailer on their properties. And so every week they would come, they would take out a motel room, and they would allegedly get showers, get cleaned up for the week, and things of that nature. Now, it was noted that somebody on one of the Facebook groups, I should say, said that they had encountered this couple and that they had said something, and the guy and George allegedly, now this is coming from Facebook, George allegedly said to them, well, you don't have to worry about that. These cameras don't work anyways. And so it sounds like he was aware that there was no cameras at this motel. So I have a lot of questions surrounding their charges that they're facing, why they were going to this motel, why they always wanted the same room, and how he knew that the cameras in that area don't work. That's all a bunch of red flags to me, and it horrifies me to even think about what was actually going on inside of this motel. Hi, Rhonda. So good to see you. Yeah, it is. It is very sad. Sorry, I'm still trying to like organize my tabs. I ended up being at the grocery store way later than I was intending to, and so I'm kind of coming in and getting stuff thrown together, which I did not want to do. But I want to pull up his property and show you guys what this actually looks like. So the police were at the property again today. This is their actual property that they normally live on whenever they are not at this motel. Make it bigger. So this is kind of the outside of the gate area. And then they zoomed in on kind of the horses and the different trailers. There's a lot of trailers in this area. Hi, Fly Girl. Oops. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So I'm not sure exactly which trailer they were allegedly staying in, but this is their actual residence, where they live. This is their actual property. Again, no running water, so it leaves a lot of questions about how they did things throughout the week, without any running water whatsoever. But again, they were going to the motel once a week so that they could get showers, allegedly.
This place is really creepy, guys. There's a very good reason why they moved those poor children way out here, literally in the middle of nowhere. It is literally in the wasteland between Cement and Chickasha. It's wide open. I guess the police came and took them and searched. We shut the gate so the horses wouldn't escape and get hurt.
So I have a lot of questions, though, about the circumstances surrounding the last time he was seen. If anybody knows exactly where that last seen date is coming from for January the 2nd, I would love to know. Because, like I said, he was homeschooled, so he didn't really have to return to school. People were saying that that he would have had to go back January the 6th if he went to school in this area. I'm hearing now he was homeschooled. I want to know when he was actually last seen. I want to know who actually last seen him. They did say that the confirmed last sighting was January the 2nd, but I've seen cases before where police just utilize the last seen date that the parents are saying. And I don't understand. His mom was going throughout and she was saying, I will show his picture. Sorry. His mom was going throughout saying that he was being seen in all of these different locations. Let me see if I see one in this Facebook group. This is like their local page, but they have been posting all of the things. But his mom was saying that he was being seen different places, alleged that a deputy had seen him, but didn't actually stop to get him, and things like that. And so there's a lot of questions. Here's a picture of him. There's a lot of questions behind the legitimacy of when he was last seen or not. Was he actually last seen on January the 2nd? At least in my mind. I don't know. From cameras on buildings around the Days Inn. Is that what they're saying? Okay, so that's good because I was concerned that what if he wasn't actually missing from the Days Inn? I was concerned, what if they got rid of him prior to that? So if they have him on camera walking out of there, thank God for that, because I was very concerned, like legitimately concerned, that this child never actually went to the Days Inn. I was very concerned, especially with all of the different charges and things like that. The way that the police are saying the things that happened to him inside of this home, inside of this trailer, inside of this motel. I don't really know when these charges took place, but at some point he was sexually abused. At some point he was physically abused. And that's all things that they talked about during the press conference today, which I'm going to stop talking about the press conference. I'm going to go ahead and play it. I just wanted to find a good copy of it, because the copy that I had earlier was very, very quiet. Give me 1 second. Okay, here it is.
Manager with the OSBI. I have the chief of police with the Chickasha Police Department, as well as the assistant chief too. As we've been working on this in a collaborative effort to locate this 12-year-old boy. What I can tell you is the latest we have is that we are still searching for him at this time. He has not been found. We are still receiving several tips. We are still following up on those tips. But the boy has not been found. We do believe that he is still alive at this time, and so we're doing everything we can to locate him. The other update we have, since we had last spoke yesterday, is that as this investigation continued, the OSBI made contact with the 12-year-old boy's parents, that is his biological mother and his stepfather. During the conversation with them, it was learned that there was apparent harm done to this child while he was living with these two parents. Based on everything that we were able to gather, based on search warrants that we conducted, and that's multi-jurisdictional agencies that were involved in those, we came to the conclusion that both parents were arrested on child abuse complaints. Multiple child abuse complaints as we move forward with this investigation. And so those two parents, as of late last night, were booked into the Caddo County Jail, where they will be at this time. Official charges, of course, will go through the District 6 District Attorney's Office as we move forward with that. What I can say from the OSBI standpoint is when the Chickasha Police Department requested us to look into this case, not only was it important for us to locate this child safely, but we also needed to look into the entire aspect of this case and find out, why is this child missing from the very beginning for multiple days? What's going on, and what's going on with his home life, as well as we kind of dig deep and find out a little bit more into what has caused this. And based on those findings, it was important for us to talk to his parents, find out a little bit more about what was going on at home during that time. And as we looked into it, making sure that when this child is safe, that he stays safe and that he goes home to a safe environment moving forward was very important for us. And it was deemed that it was not a safe environment for him. So that's why these two parents are behind bars at this time. We are encouraging people. We understand there's been a lot of Facebook posts and comments about the boy has been seen here and there. We've followed up on all of those so far. What we can still say is that the last time that this 12-year-old boy was confirmed seen was that January 2nd date here in Chickasha. So we are still encouraging people, please reach out to us, contact us. If you see where this boy might have been, where he's going, other people that might have been in contact with him up until he went missing, please reach out to us. We will follow up on all those tips. We've had search parties with all these jurisdictional agencies yesterday, all through tonight, today, as we move forward with this process. And so, again, these arrests are just one step, but the ultimate goal will not change. We need to locate this child safely and bring him home as quickly as we possibly can. I'll field some more questions, but I'm going to have Chief say a few words too.
I just want to say real quick, everybody, we appreciate so much the efforts. As Hunter said, this has been a multi-jurisdictional effort. So between Chickasha Police, OSBI, Grady County, I believe Caddo County, OHP, and others, this has been quite an effort. Culminated last night with the 2 arrests that Hunter made mention of. The important thing is already this morning, we're following up on at least 2 other tips as we speak. Here's what I need from everybody listening. This child will not be going back to that home. All we want to do is lay eyes on this child, get him the medical care that he needs, and assure him physically and emotionally, he will not be returning back to that environment. So if anybody out there listening through media, through social media, through any source can bring him here, I will personally meet with this child. We want to get him safe and we want to get him medically cleared so that he is good.
I'm gonna pause right there for a second. I swear, so the guy said that they had done an investigation, multi-agency, and from some of the warrants, it revealed these charges were necessary because they have seen the abuse that this child has been going through. This screams to me that there was photographic evidence. It screams to me cell phone evidence. It screams to me maybe video evidence, something along those lines that led to them finding out the horrific things that this child has allegedly gone through. And you can just hear it in this officer's voice whenever he says he is not going back to these monsters again. And thank God for that. Thank God.
Thank you.
All right. Questions?
Based on what you've learned, can
Yeah.
you talk about the environment he was living in and specifically the harm done?
Specifically, the harm done, we cannot go into that yet. It is still an ongoing investigation. Now, when this child is found, there will be the updates of what our findings are. So we will eventually go into that and when these charges are officially filed. But as of right now, specifics on that, we just can't go into that right now.
Do you believe that the parents have something to do with this little boy's disappearance?
We believe that the parents caused, like I said, harm. Now, this last time that the boy went missing, was it specifically because of the harm done to him by these parents? We're just not sure about that yet. That's why, that we're going to still dig into, what was going on at home during that time. So that's something that we will certainly still continue to look into as this moves forward. But it was very clear that it was not a safe environment for this child at home.
Had DHS been called to this home before?
We have been in contact with DHS. We can get that for you to double check on that. I would like to talk to them about that though.
You went out to the property yesterday to interact with them. Can you kind of tell us, did you search the property? Is there anything that you guys found while you were out there, or was that just specifically just to apprehend them?
The property was searched. And like I said, we had followed up on multiple properties within the Grady County and Caddo County areas. But again, specifics that were found during our search warrant, just can't unveil that yet.
Can you describe the conditions of the home?
Probably not yet.
Can you speak to why the parents were charged with conspiracy and crimes against nature, the counts themselves?
Sure. It was child abuse and then child sexual abuse that was complaints to both parents. The conspiracy, of course, is because they were, together when these crimes did occur towards this child. And so that's what we have so far. Now, of course, when this reaches the DA, we'll see what charges are officially filed. But based on our conversation with the parents, that's what the OSBI, that's what our complaints for the arrests were made.
So what's on Caddo County's further booking, that is correct, then the crimes against nature and the conspiracy?
Correct.
Along with
Crimes against nature can include a lot of different things. And I know we went over this kind of earlier today, but we are going to go through it again because, like I said, that video was just rough. So crimes against nature, though, in Oklahoma, it can include, let's see here. It says it's a historical legal term for offenses like bestiality or sodomy. Now, he has mentioned child sexual abuse multiple times. He also mentioned that there was regular child abuse charges. I haven't heard them specifically bring up animals at this point. However, there is allegations in the Facebook groups that inappropriate things have happened with dogs. However, again, that's in the Facebook group. You can believe Facebook as much as you want. It's just until there's legitimate proof, until we actually see the documents, the charging documents, It's hard to say exactly what occurred, but this could be bestiality. It could be sodomy that occurred to this poor child. Um, it's rough. It's a horrible thought. And there was some type of evidence that the police were able to see, which leads me to believe that they were photographing it or videoing these things happening to him. And of course, the conspiracy charges are because mom and stepdad were both in on it together, uh, which is disturbing because we see this so many times where these parents just sit by or engage in these acts against their children willingly. So another thing, I pulled it up on ChatGPT also. It says, what crimes against nature could possibly mean in this case? It says, because the charge is against the mother of a missing 12-year-old, this term does not mean anything vague or outdated. In cases involving a minor, crimes against nature is commonly used to charge sexual abuse involving acts such as forced, unlawful, oral, or anal acts. Sexual acts considered aggravated because of the child's age, and it's often used instead of or alongside rape or lewd acts statutes, depending on how the law is written in that state. With a child, consent is legally impossible, so this is treated as a violent felony. It says why the charge changed from child abuse by injury to crimes against nature. It says that shift is important because child abuse by injury suggests physical harm. Child or crimes against nature indicates that investigators believe sexual abuse occurred. This usually means that new evidence was found or a forensic interview or medical exam revealed more information. Investigators determined the abuse met a sexual felony threshold. It says what conspiracy likely means for the stepfather. The conspiracy charge generally means that prosecutors believe that he knew about the abuse, helped or allowed or covered up or failed to prevent it, or he participated in planning or concealing the crime. That does not necessarily mean that he committed the sexual acts themselves, but it means that they believe that he was criminally involved. It says why this may relate to a missing child, even though police say it's not clear yet. In real investigations, charges like these often come first. They can be used to apply pressure, protect evidence, or secure cooperation while the search continues when a child is missing and sexual abuse charges appear. Investigators are treating this as a high risk situation. So, this is what ChatGPT again got from this. Not necessarily what is going on. But again, kind of where their take on everything is. Hi, Seal, how are you? I'm so sorry that you're so sick. So let me go back to the news conference, though. I just wanted to share that information, that little tidbit with you, because there's been a lot of questions about the charges.
Child abuse by.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. And you say sexual abuse, do you have evidence that, or have they told you?
I mean, again, not going into specifics, but based on what we were able to find in the conversations with those parents, yes, that's why those complaints were placed there, and that's why that's part of their arrest.
Was there any incident on that? Did they tell you what the incident was on Friday? There's been a few stories that have circulated around as far as what happened that Friday before he disappeared, but do you have any idea?
We were able to unveil part of the story of what might have occurred before that boy went missing, but obviously it's going to be very important when we find and locate this child to find out a little bit more of what had occurred, up until that January 2nd date.
Any clue how long it might have been going on?
No, we're still looking into that and an exact timeline of how long exactly, not sure. But we know that from the timeline that we do have and what was found, it was harm that was caused to this child.
Is it possible it could have happened the first time they ran away?
Yeah, I mean, it is possible. We just haven't found that concrete that it had happened in those other times that he went missing.
Are there any other children in the home?
Chief? There was, no, there's none.
You guys are obviously still continuing the search for this boy. What gives you, not necessarily the confidence, but what makes you guys think that he's still around this area? Is there searches going on in other counties or other parts of the state as you look for this boy?
Based on everything we've been able to find so far, we're talking about a 12-year-old boy who we believe was on foot. And so When you're talking about the last time that he was seen was in Chickasha here in town, of course, where the parents' residence was in Caddo County down by Cement. And so, you're talking about a rural area in between Caddo County and then here in Chickasha. But everything that we've been able to see so far, we do believe that he is somewhere in that area of these two counties.
The last sighting was at the, I'm assuming you're talking about the Quality Inn, or at least somewhere.
Yes,
here in
right.
town. Do you have evidence? Like, do we have him on video? Is that how we know he's confirmed that was his last sighting? Because I know there's been a lot of people saying that they've seen him in other places, and of course, you guys have said you searched for them. But are those not true sightings, or can you elaborate on that?
You're talking about the last time that we had confirmed that he was seen. Yes, those are confirmed sightings that he was seen. I can't go into the specifics of what we had seen, but we were able to use the resources there in town of those nearby buildings to confirm that he was there.
Okay, so thank God, right? Because I was concerned, what if he actually wasn't there? Now I wonder what time they confirmed seeing him. Which we might say that in just a second, but I'm happy and relieved to know if he walked away on his own, because I swear, you guys, with the child sexual abuse and all of those other charges that are going on with this, I'm terrified. I was terrified that they killed him. And so if he walked away on his own, thank God for that, because seriously, I I just have like a horrible, horrible gut feeling in this case. And so I hope that my gut feeling is completely wrong. And I hope that he comes not home. He doesn't ever need to go back to this home. He doesn't ever need to go back to anybody who was even slightly remotely aware that this could have been going on. And I have a feeling that there was people involved. You know, I have a feeling that there was people who were complicit or at least knew about the abuse, because unfortunately stuff like this doesn't happen in a vacuum. Usually somebody knows.
That time. And again, like we said, that was right down the street here. And so, Chickasha residents of Caddo, Grady County have done a great job of reaching out to us. We need them to continue to do that.
I guess, what's your next step moving forward from here?
Next step is these large searches will continue. I mean, I've told you, it's not just us and Chickasha Police Department, Grady County Sheriff's Office, Caddo County Sheriff's Office, District 6 Task Force. Everybody's still working around the clock. There's been, shift changes, obviously, but these comments that we get, whether it's
See, I just want to say, get rest. Seriously, I'm so thankful for you and the help that you did try to provide with this case and stuff like that, helping me pull documents and everything. And I just, I hope you feel better. I hate that you were sick. I hate it. I hate it that more than I hate B Tim. How about that? I hate that you're sick more than I hate B Tim.
social media, whether it's through our tip line, straight calls, we are following up on these. And so it's just a continuous, maybe seeing where he might have been, where he is going. But we will not stop until this child's found.
Are you using drones?
Yes, we're using everything necessary. Drones, dogs, everything that we get a tip on, we're using all those, the technology and resources to see where exactly this child might have been.
Are there volunteers that have come forward to help?
Yes. I can say that I actually got a call this morning. And so there are people that have helped, that are wanting to continue to help. And you guys know, not just here in the Grady County area, but throughout the entire state, we always have people step up and help with that. And we really appreciate it.
Where are you concentrating your search right now?
Just in those two county areas. So in between where that residence was down in Cement up until Chickasha is where it's concentrated. Of course, if we get a tip, anything outside of these two counties, of course, we're going to look and we're going to use our resources, but that's where it's concentrated so far.
Do we think he's been staying outside, or do you think he's got some shelter somewhere?
We're just not sure. I mean, you would hope he's got shelter, but I mean, guys, we've talked about this. I mean, this is multiple days now of a 12-year-old boy. I mean, it's to a point where he needs to be found as quickly as possible, because not knowing where he is, not knowing where he's staying, it's extremely scary.
Any chance of Amber Alert may be issued at some point, or are we beyond that?
No, from what we've been able to gather, that will not. So we'll be able to continue to use what resources we have to push that out.
Not been drilled into the ground, but have you gotten any hits from using dogs, or have you seen anything on drones? Have you used thermal at all? Or?
Yeah, we've used all that, but in terms of actual, like you call it, hits to see, no, we have not gotten that yet, but we're still using all of that.
What's your reaction to just what you've learned about what's happened to this boy in his home?
This is extremely sad. This is a horrific case so far for everybody involved. I mean, again, you're talking about a 12-year-old boy where it was seen that he was, living in a household where he didn't get to live a life of a normal 12-year-old boy. And so what we've discovered that he had to go through during this time, it's extremely sad. And now he's, no one knows where he is. He's, out on the streets, possibly. It's extremely sad, but again, we're going to do everything in our power to make sure that he is found safe.
My mic is muted. Hi, Bushes. How are you?
Hi, I was a little late,
It's
but
okay. Thanks for coming
I'm
up.
here.
I appreciate that. So one more thing before we actually start talking about this case, because I am on the fence about so many different things in this whole thing. Is there is somebody who is connected to this family, and this is where my concern is. There's somebody who is connected to this family who was recently arrested in Arkansas and taken back to Oklahoma. And guess what he was being charged with? Bestiality. He was being charged with inappropriate acts with children and animals, video and pictures taken and sent to people through Snapchat and other systems. And this is somebody that his stepdad is allegedly friends with on Facebook, according to the Facebook groups.
Oh.
And so, and get this guy also allegedly was using motels once or twice a week to harm his victims. And so you have this situation where they were going to this hotel once or twice a week. They were getting showers there allegedly because they didn't have water and things of that nature. And now we hear these charges of this sexual abuse and physical abuse, and then they just so happen to be friends with somebody on Facebook who was charged with the same thing back in October. And their son started running away back in October, November, December, January, all dates that he ran away. So let me go ahead and play this video about this man who was arrested.
County, where a man has been arrested for a long list of felony crimes related to pornographic materials, child abuse, and even crimes against nature. 27-year-old Jared Arthur Dethridge could spend the rest of his life in prison if convicted. Not only did investigators allegedly find digital evidence of graphic child pornography, they also believe he created bestiality videos. Detectives in Durham, North Carolina tipped off Lincoln County investigators. Dethridge was picked up in Hot Springs, Arkansas earlier this month and extradited back to Oklahoma.
Wow.
So it's somebody that they're connected to on Facebook facing the same charges. And it's sick. It's awful. It's awful. I hate, honestly, that all of this is public, in a way, because this child needs to be found. People need to know what he's going through. He needs to know he's going to be safe after this. But it's just evil. That's literally the word for it, Roberta. You're right. It's just evil. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on all of this, though? Like this whole everything, just everything.
I'm floored. I'm floored that his mom asked for him to come home. I'm floored that she didn't stop that situation. I'm floored that he was previously taken away and returned to that home.
Right.
I'm glad they have decided that he will never again be in either one of their care.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to tell him, if you're out there, go ahead and turn yourself into the police. They've got a safe place for you to go, and it's not going to happen anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, this is supposed to be her baby. And it's not even so much that mom didn't stop the stuff from happening. She has the primary charges. He actually has the secondary charges. And so it sounds like she was the leader in the abuse. Now, was she being forced to do these things to him? Was stepdad the one who was kind of forcing her hand? Like, I don't know. I do not know. And I'm very anxious to see kind of how these charges are going to play out once it all comes out.
I
But it's
didn't
just
realize she had more charges than him.
yeah, so she actually is the one with the crimes against nature charges, not him. And he has the
Oh.
conspiracy to commit charges. And they both have child abuse. They both have the child abuse charges, but she is the one with the crimes against nature charge.
Eh, interesting.
Inappropriate acts with animals, Fly
Yeah.
Girl. Yeah, he should have never been returned. And so I was going to tell you guys too. So the people who had him last time that he ran away. So, and I just have his flyer up while we're talking about him because the most important thing that you could see in this video is his face because I pray to God he is out there walking around and I hope he found somewhere to stay. I hope somebody is keeping him safe, somebody is keeping him hidden, and that they can see all of this information and know, hey, he can come out. He can finally come out. He can finally be safe somewhere, and he doesn't have to be afraid anymore. That's what I pray is going on. It's getting cold. The weather has not been the greatest. He does not need to be staying out in the woods somewhere or anything like that. And I was hoping whenever the police went back to search his property again, that maybe they were hopeful that he had headed that direction or was hiding out in that area. But it's so hard to say where he went. But anyway, so one of the things that I was going to show you guys though is I do have a report that they had charges filed against them or restraining orders. They had restraining orders filed against them this week by somebody that they're related to or somebody that they know, I guess I should say. I don't know their relation at this moment. But where's my share screen button? There it is. And so this is, I guess it would help if I took down the screen. Somebody actually filed restraining order against them, protective order, on the 5th. And so what was going on? I heard it was about harassment and things of that nature. I can't see the document at this point. Right now, all we can see is the fact that it was actually filed and granted. So whatever it was that took place, it was severe enough that it was granted. And so they have a hearing coming up on January the 15th for this, but they did issue this protective order against them for Tina Kathleen Molina. So they are not allowed to contact them. So what the heck was going on? Is this somebody that had their child in the past that had him? And so maybe they were harassing her, trying to find out where he was now. But one of the comments that mom made kind of rubbed me the wrong way because she had said something in one of the Facebook groups about, or while she was sharing on Facebook, I guess I should say, but the screenshots were in the Facebook group about how, they had started searching for him right away once they realized that he was missing and that they had their own search crews out there. Once they called police, they had already been searching with ATVs and spotlights and things like that with their own crew. And so it makes me wonder who all was involved in that crew. Did you really reach out to neighbors and like locals and things like that in the middle of the night to go ride up and down on ATVs with spotlights? Or what was going on at that hotel? Was there people already there that were able to come with them, all shady like? Yeah, domestic abuse also, right? And those charges, right? Domestic abuse and harassment charges for the protective order. But the search party thing kind of struck me the wrong way, just the way that she said it, the way that it was phrased. And then in one of the comment posts she had put to, she was talking to somebody about the dogs, the search dogs that were out looking for him. And she said they have had cadaver dog hits multiple times over by the Aldis. And a cadaver dog would not hit on a live scent. And so I don't know if she realized that she was saying cadaver dogs or if she doesn't know what the types of dogs were, but they weren't regular search dogs if you're saying cadaver. And I swear like my heart dropped whenever I read that earlier this afternoon because it's like, is she telling the truth about what his actual status is without actually saying it? I want to know what time of day these last videos are. I want to know Was he actually walking away from the motel in those sightings? And I know I keep saying that, and the police did confirm, his last sighting was on January the 2nd. But January the 2nd, at what time? Was it going into the motel on January the 2nd? Was his last seen time, checking in at 5 p.m. or 4 p.m. or whenever it was that they went in?
Was it at the motel at all?
Was it at the motel at all? Was it after? Because mom is reporting him missing 1 a.m. on January the 3rd. Police are saying last seen on January the 2nd.
Oh,
That is not January the 3rd, right?
no.
And so what time was the last sighting? And I wish they would give some more clarity on that. I want to know if they know that he walked away, because I'm very scared with the cameras not
Yeah.
working directly at the hotel. They could have very easily had something happen in that hotel that police, I mean, they've said multiple times during this press conference that they're worried about his well-being and getting him checked out medically. Why?
Yeah.
What do you know? What happened to him that he needs medically checked on? What happened that that's your main concern? And was there some type of photographic or video evidence from the second that he could have been greatly harmed or injured in that time frame and needs that medical care? Does that make sense? I don't know. So I'm just concerned that what if at 1 a.m. or earlier than 1 a.m., whatever, stepdad or mom took his remains out of this motel and then, planned this whole disappearance thing. So that, I guess, is where my concern is. I want to know, did they have him walking away? So I don't know. That's my brain. My heart is breaking for this kid. I can't get my thoughts all together because I'm just so concerned for everything that he's going through and everything that he went through. Like, this is just hard. It's just so hard.
Yeah. This one's bad.
Yeah. You wonder if he was walking around and someone picked him up, he could be anywhere. Honest to God, I don't even know if he would suffer worse abuse if a stranger picked him up or better. I mean, that's sick to say. He obviously was going through horrific things in his mom's house or in this motel or both locations. It's just, and has it been going on how long? That's my other question. He started running away in October. And so we know at least something started in October. And I guess that's where this other guy, him being arrested in October, kind of that's a little bit too much of a connection. Was this guy arrested in October and then, stepdad or mom had to pick up the torch for the charges for the things that he was doing to kind of, continue the business? I don't know. I don't know how connected these individuals are. I'm going based off of Facebook, right? I'm going based off of the Facebook rumors. So let me just say all of this is alleged. Maybe none of this is true. I could be making it all up. Facebook people could be making it all up. But if not, it's very ironic that this guy was arrested in October for crimes against nature, bestiality, child pornography, lewd acts with children, things like that. He's arrested for all of those things. They just so happen to be connected on Facebook, allegedly. And now they're being charged with similar things against their son, who is missing now. And he started running away in October right after this guy was arrested. So, I don't know. It's just a lot. It's just a lot, It's got me stressed. It's got me really, really stressed.
It is stressful. This poor kid.
Yeah. You're going to pray they have him walking away on his own. I'm just going to be honest. So, we have had cases where they have told us that the child was seen. You guys know,
Yeah.
we have
Yeah.
had too many cases where the child was seen walking away or the child was seen on a certain date and then they're never seen again, right? And I don't even have to bring up names. Like, you guys know, there's been so many cases. So many cases. We even had the one where they had the little girl and they're like, the little girl was seen on camera walking down the road. And then it turned out that they used her sister to fake her walking down the road. Like, it's just it parents hurting their kids happens way too much, and it makes me sick. It makes me honest to God sick, and it's so much emotionally to handle. This is why I do cases and cover them and cover them and cover them and cover them, and then, like, I gotta take a break sometimes because it's a lot. It is a lot, especially if you're an empath, like, especially if you have the ability to feel kind of like what's going on and you realize, like, my heart is broke for him. It's just awful. Yeah, it really is a coincidence, a bizarre coincidence anyways. If it's a coincidence, I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's a connection. Yeah, too much of a coincidence. I know. I don't even It's not just her though. They did the same thing in Ariel Sellers' case. They did the same thing in Ariel Sellers' case. I don't know. What's your thoughts, Bushes? Sorry, I'm just like
My
getting
thought
lost in my
is going to be, when do we as a nation realize that unification always isn't the best and shouldn't
yeah.
always be the first goal, and that we need to be more careful about the situations we allow children to be in, especially once agencies are involved. And that's like literally their job, is to make sure it doesn't happen anymore. And they tend to throw that by the wayside with reunification
Yeah.
and not following up with adoptive homes. And I'm not going to tell you that they don't sometimes take kids that don't need to be taken. I'm not going to tell that lie. Sometimes they remove
Mhm.
kids just in case. Those parents generally get their kids back and things get settled. Um, but overall, there's a problem, and it needs to be fixed. And I
Yeah.
would like to say this is the last child. I would love to say this is the last child that goes through a state agency that gets returned to a situation like this. And I'm so sorry and embarrassed as a voter that this has happened. I just want to vomit. And I hope he is out there. I hope he did run. I hope he knows they're looking for him, and to go ahead and come forward, and he doesn't have to go back there, and they're going to be charged, and he doesn't ever have to go back again.
Yeah, it
And
just sucks that it came to this though, right? It
it should
sucks
have
that
never.
he ran away this many times, and people in the comments under his runaway post originally, like before mom and dad were charged, were saying things like, "Oh, I hope they put this kid in a juvenile detention center and blah 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 because he's a repeat runaway. He's done it. This is his fourth time." And there was literally comment after comment of people saying like, "Oh, well, he needs to be held accountable and he needs to go to a state facility and they got to get this kid under control and blah 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 because we blame the child." But
Yeah.
you have to wonder,
If they're
especially in
running
this
away that
situation,
much, what's going on?
right? Especially in this situation, this kid didn't have social media. He didn't have access to video games and devices, and he wasn't, hanging out with kids at school. He was homeschooled. And so there was nothing luring him out of the home. There was no type of like rebellious nature to him. He's running away because he was literally being abused. And I'm willing to guess it started in October or it escalated in October after this other guy was arrested, maybe. Did it escalate in October? I want to know. I gotta look at
Did it
I have to look
escalate
at,
or did he just get tired of it?
or
I
he
don't
just got
know.
tired of it, right? Finally just had enough. And I got to pull up mom and dad's records because mom and stepdad, I got to stop saying dad because it is his stepdad. Seal had sent me, that's what I was saying. She's so sick, you guys. Pray for Seal. She is so sick. And she's still like I seen this case. BC shared it in Discord earlier today, or last night, maybe last night. I don't know. So, anyways, seen the case. I started looking into it. I asked her, I said, hey, can you please, pull their background checks for me because she is my background checker. And she's like, I have the flu and she is miserable. And, but she still pulled reports for me. She still got everything together as far as like the background checks and the actual charges. And she also got me what was it? The protective order. I couldn't think for a second. But I didn't actually. So it looks like mom criminal traffic records. Let me pull this up for you guys to see. But she is so sick. Yeah, he is not the problem. Right. Are the people not stupid to realize that there's a reason he's running away? I know. It has to be a reason. It has to be a reason. So let me get this. So this is hers. It's basic stuff. It's not anything too crazy, right? We see this sometimes where they have these basic charges. This here, possession of CDs, felony. What is that? Possession of CDs, felony. So she does have paraphernalia and CDs. What would that be? Like obviously possession of CDs says 1,000 school park child 50%. What is that? I'm gonna have to Google that.
I don't know. I've never even seen charges like that before. I don't understand what I'm looking at.
Let me see. Okay. Possession of a controlled or dangerous substance. Okay, so this is what I was thinking. I was just going to say, I wonder if they have drug history. And so it looks like they do. They do have a drug history, which looking at them doesn't shock me. I'm just going to say that because they do have, kind of a rough appearance. Let's see. Especially him. He has like jail tats. So let me see what his actually says. Like nothing. Whereas I bet she probably didn't get like a good one on him because sometimes like some of the background check things are very limited. And so I'm betting, yeah, because his shows nothing. And I find that hard to believe. Just going to say that. But she definitely has some type of drugs in her possession at some point. Granted, back in 2012, but I don't care. You know what I mean? Like that just, she hasn't been caught since 2012 doesn't mean that she's not doing it anymore. Oh, geez, both your grandbabies have the flu too. It's rough. It's rough. Yeah, she's diehard. She is. She's a beast. He thought the reaction was strange when they asked if there were other children. Right. So he kind of paused and he was like, and he kind of turned and was like, no, no other detectives in the home or no other children in the home. But I'm wondering if there was other children in the video or picture evidence, if that makes sense. You missed the conversation on them owning a horse training business. They have property. Let me see.
So they have a house, but they're renting hotel rooms.
Oh my God, you guys. Oh, I hope this is true. And I hope that somebody is not freaking playing me right now.
What?
Located safe.
Oh,
Oh, I freaking hope that is so true. Oh, I will be so freaking relieved on this post. I came over here to look at their business and look, missing and murdered, seeking justice, just updated. Ryan R.J. Davis has been located and is getting care for injuries he received, but he is alive. He will not be going back home. Again, we want to thank everyone who took the time to share Ryan's story. Oh my God.
Thank God.
Seriously, I gotta find like a credible source. Hold on. I'm like so happy right now. I'm sorry. I was so scared for this baby. I hope this is true. Oh, come on. 17 minutes ago. Let's see. No, not a safe environment. Blah, blah, blah. Where was he found at? 51 minutes ago. Search continues. I gotta find somebody else saying this. I shared this post here without looking. No, prayer vigil. It's the only one that's saying it. Is that true? Is it not true? When was the update? I gotta look at the original post. I swear. This looks like it's somebody who does this, right? Who does this for their channel. Certainly they're not posting something that's not credible.
You never know.
Ugh. Update
Hopefully,
today at 8:23 p.m. is when they updated it, at 8:23 p.m. So there should be something credible. Sorry, I'm trying to find. It's the only thing that I'm seeing that says that.
I wonder if local law enforcement has it up yet.
Sorry, I'm searching on the other screen, obviously. I should probably just search with you guys, but I don't want to accidentally show. Let's see. No, I don't see anything on the police department. This is updated at 8:23 p.m. that they added the missing or the located safe and they took down his missing flyer and put located safe. But I don't see any credible information. I will believe he's found when a credible source says so. People are saying he has not been found. He has been found. He has not been found.
Of course, because it's Facebook.
I can't. I want to know why they updated it. 17 minutes ago is the last article that I can see on Google. And that does not say found safe. That's this one. It says law enforcement revealed new details about missing 12-year-old's home life. The search continues for 12-year-old Ryan R.J. Davis after the mom and stepdad were arrested Wednesday night on multiple child abuse complaints. Now the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation reveals new details about Ryan's home life. It was deemed not safe environment for him. There was apparent harm done to this child while he was living with these two parents. The police department requested us to look into this case. Not only was it important for us to locate this child safely, it's just a rehash of the press conference again. So I don't I hate people. Like, I swear. I hope it's true, but I don't see where they're getting that information. I see nothing. Hi, Okie Crime News. You're not seeing it anywhere else yet. Hi, Cooter G. I see nothing, though. I'm like, that's the only post.
Yeah, they should have at least named the source.
Right. This is, let me see. This here is 16 minutes ago. But again, the search continues 16 minutes ago. This missing murdered seeking justice is the only person saying located safe. Turn on recent post. This is from an hour
Well, guys,
ago.
you can see this property right here behind me, and we've been able to confirm that the Cole family runs a business right here in Caddo County. George and Kimberly were both arrested as the search for their missing 12-year-old goes on. Now, in the last hour, there were multiple law enforcement officials searching this land. It's off of 2730 and CR 1410 here in Caddo County. It's listed on social media as a horse training business. R.J. Davis, also known as Riker Cole, was last seen January 2nd at 4th and Grand in Chickasha, and of course he has not been seen since. Now, according to OSBI, his mother Kimberly and stepdad George were arrested Thursday on child abuse and sexual assault complaints. Now, within the last hour or so, we also noticed law enforcement searching the south end of this property. They also walked some of the railroad tracks just behind us here when the property line ends. So we have not heard an update from law enforcement just yet, but at last check, RJ is still missing. Well, guys, you can see
They had a horse training business. Are you muted, Nicole?
Yep, apparently I am.
Very
I'm so
nice.
sorry.
Keep on.
I'm over here talking away. No, I was just saying, so I don't see anything credible. It looks like this person may have jumped the gun because I'm not seeing anything credible. Somebody in the comments here said that they are going to contact the police department and see if it's accurate. Do not do that. Let somebody close to this case, let somebody in this county, reach out and try to find out if it's true or not. Hopefully the Facebook pages can be updated, but please do not bombard Facebook or the police department with phone calls because that just wastes resources.
Yeah, that's hard on them. Don't do that.
It is. So they are still doing searches. This is 2 hours ago. They posted different searches that are going to be taking place because he's out there somewhere. He is most likely out there somewhere, and I have a feeling he's resourceful. I believe he had been caught, like, I want to say in the trash or stealing items during the last time that he ran away. I don't know. I don't see anything though. I like had such a sense of relief, and then now it's just like, ugh. Anyways, all right. I actually I have to get going, but you can't hear me. I know you guys are a minute behind. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know. I will update you guys if I see anything though, either in Discord or here on YouTube, on the YouTubes. But Bushes, thank you so much for coming up. I appreciate you always. Every time you come up and join me, it's always pleasant. But I do have to get going because unfortunately I do have to work this evening. So I love you guys. I'm praying that it's true. I don't want to say that it's true right now because I do not see not even one official source saying that he has been found, unfortunately. So in the meantime, keep praying that they do find him. I pray that he is able to come home, or not home, not home. I don't want him to come home. I'm praying that he's able to come back to the authorities so that they can check him out and that he can be safe, not at home. You do not have to go home, RJ, ever again. So, all right. Love you guys. I will talk to you all later. Have a good
Bye,
night.
guys.
Bye.